having me. Man, we have a tough job here because there are so many incredible causes in our community doing great work. So those are two tough acts to follow. My name is Ashley Morales, and I just want to start today by saying I'm so grateful to be part of this wonderful group of women that's creating real, tangible change here in our community. I work for Lutheran Services Florida, a nonprofit that serves people of all backgrounds and impacts the lives of 1 in 50 Floridians each year. Here in Sarasota, we operate an adult advocacy program, and that's what I'm here to tell you about today. While we all hope that we'll have a loving family and support system by the time we reach old age, it's not a given. And for many of our senior and vulnerable neighbors here in Sarasota, there is a harsh reality that they face. Alone, sometimes homeless or on the brink of homelessness, sometimes with medical issues or disabilities that impact memory and decision making. And when this happens, who is there to pick up the pieces? Part of the LSF mission is to provide much needed help to the elderly, disabled, or those suffering from chronic illness. LSF's Adult Advocacy Services program, which was established in 1992, provides protection, advocacy, and financial management for those who are unable to care for themselves in the greater Sarasota area and the surrounding region. We serve adults 18 and older who have been deemed legally incapacitated by the 12th Judicial Circuit Court, which covers Sarasota, Manatee, and DeSoto counties. Whether it's helping manage financial accounts, arranging medical appointments, or coordinating placement in a care facility, LSF's dedicated team makes sure bills are paid, medical appointments are kept, and some of the most vulnerable members of our community are protected. If people have to be placed in a care facility, we're there for them step by step all along the way. But our goal with identifying some of these vulnerable adults is to keep them in their home when possible. Our team provides services like developing personalized care plans to ensure every person receives exactly the services they need, coordinating medical and dental care, including scheduling appointments, arranging transportation, and making sure care plans are followed. Managing monthly bills, benefits to ensure seniors in our community are not being taken advantage of in old age, and making sure the mortgage or rent is paid, utilities stay on, and essential needs are met. We also advocate for mental health services, residential placement, and ongoing support to ensure our clients live in the safest and least restricted environment possible. We also provide court-appointed guardianship for adults who have been legally deemed incapacitated. These are often individuals living with dementia, Alzheimer's, developmental disabilities, or mental trauma, people who rely on us completely for their well-being. Every year, LSF's adult advocacy team provides dignity-centered care to about 300 adults in Sarasota and the region, adults who would otherwise be at extremely high risk for neglect, abuse, or exploitation. Now this is where you come in. I want to share how a $10,000 grant from the 100 Women Who Care Sarasota would make an immediate and meaningful impact on the adults we serve. We provide each adult who comes into our program with a care package. Each care package costs about $20 to assemble, which means a $10,000 reward would allow us to create 500 care packages for this program. I'd like to note that most of our program's $1.4 million budget comes from the Office of Public Professional Guardians. So that state funding does not cover care packages at all. That only covers, base services. That's something we do, the care packages, because after 34 years of operating this program, we've seen the need and we cannot in good conscience ignore it. These packages include simple but deeply meaningful items: lotion, word search and puzzle books, gripper socks, pens and pencils, tissues and notepads, and Bibles if they request them. These are not luxury items, these are comfort items, they're dignity items. And they're small connection items for people who often have no one else in their lives to offer them even these small kindnesses. We currently are serving 283 guardianship clients with a wait list. So this grant would allow us to provide each of them with a care package, plus an additional 200 packages for clients coming into the program over the year, just over 200. For adults who often have no family checking on them, no one celebrating birthdays or holidays, and sometimes few personal items to call their own, these care packages become more than supplies. They become a reminder of their inherent dignity, and perhaps most importantly, receiving a care package tells them you matter. Someone in this community cares about you. A $10,000 investment from this group would allow us to extend compassion, comfort, and care to the hundreds of vulnerable adults who truly need it. And if I have Do I have time?
1 more.
1 minute, okay. I said if I have time, I'd like to note that we're extremely proud at LSF that only 2% of our operating budget goes to administrative expenses. Of course, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our people, but you can feel confident knowing that when you donate, that money goes directly back to the community. Another common question we get is about staffing and volunteers. We have 14 staff with 1 vacant position, if you're interested. And these are mostly case managers who work directly with our clients. And then our volunteers are typically professional guardians who have an interest in going above and beyond.
Questions?
Any questions? Thank you. Sorry, I tried to squeeze in a lot at the end there. Does anyone have any questions I can answer? Yeah.
How long do you typically walk alongside someone, and when do you, what's the typical age range, and?
That's a good question. So we typically walk alongside someone for about 2 years. That's the average, but it's as long as the court, puts us in that position. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes once we're able to get someone on the right track and get their home in order and their bills in order, we only have to check on them every now and then. But everyone's case is different. I would say the average age, we serve some adults with disabilities, but not as many. It's mostly elderly seniors. And a lot of people come to us through homelessness. Unfortunately, people become unhoused for a lot of different reasons, but sometimes it is because they're elderly and have dementia or have, some sort of mental illness where they're not taking care of their own needs and they end up on the street because they don't have anyone there to care for them, and just to simply help them get that check in the mail, get the mortgage or the lights paid. Yes.
Do you specifically work with elder law attorneys and if necessary, get them on Medicaid status?
Yes, that's a great question. So we work with a bunch of elder care law attorneys here in the area. We have great relationships with them. We do pro bono work with them as well as look bono work, and also pay them, fully through our budget as well. And what was the second part of the question?
And if required to help them
Oh, get on. Yes, that is a huge task. Absolutely, that's a big part of it, especially when adults are coming to us through homelessness. Sometimes they don't even know that they qualify for these programs, or they're in a capacitated state where we can help get them on the right track first, physically, mentally, and then get them set up for those benefits. Or a lot of times we do have clients who have someone in their lives who's maybe taking advantage of those benefits. We can identify that and make sure the senior who's supposed to be getting those services is. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a reality. Yes.
I'm just curious, what is your yearly budget and where do you get your funding?
Yes. So we have a yearly budget of 1.4 million. About 370,000 of that comes from the Office of Public and Professional Guardians, so that's state funding, very restricted. We also have a Sarasota County grant for about $50,000 a year that we've been able to maintain for some time. And then the rest of that funding comes from our fundraising efforts and community donations, especially our care package program. That's something extra that we do above and beyond. That's not mandated by any sort of governing body. We've just seen the need and we've seen what a difference it makes in people's mental health and sometimes even their will to live, to be honest. Knowing that people in the community care enough not only to provide these care packages, but we do have churches who volunteer to put them together. It means a lot to people, and a lot of times there's a personal note in there as well. So if you're looking for a fun project, we also need volunteers to put them together.
When did you say you started?
Yes, 1992.
Got it.
Yes. If there are no more questions, thank you ladies very much. Thank you.